Sound of a sword clash, then fades into tense, epic background music. You ever seen a fight where you just know it's going down in the history books? Yeah, this was one of those. Picture this. Lin, all light skin and spiky white hair peeking out from under a shadow cloak, a wicked goblin sword in his hand. He's facing off against this punk with punch-purple hair and a black cap slung on his back. The fight kicks off, and Lin is a blur of motion. He lands a solid gut punch on the purple-haired guy. The force is immense, sending the guy flying back. But here's the crazy part. He doesn't fall. He just slides. Skids across the ground on his feet like he's on ice, a cocky smirk plastered on his face. For a second, it looks like Lin's got the upper hand. He's faster, more precise. But the purple-haired guy just laughs, and that's when things get nuts. He slams his hands on the ground, and the earth itself seems to ripple. "Time to meet the team!" he shouts, and two figures erupt from the ground. Knights. But this isn't your standard fantasy fare. One is super short, almost comically so, wielding a long staff with a sharp knife on the end. The other is a giant, towering and broad, swinging a sword that's nearly the size of a person. "This is Lil Jr. and Big Jr." The guy cackles, taunting Lin. "You ever cleared a level 600 dungeon and come out on top? Well, these two have, and they're literally just my summons." My man Sinju, watching from the side, cloaked in his incredible red and gold dragon scale, wasn't about to let Lin face this alone. Lil and Big Jr. rush at Lin, weapons raised, ready to crush him. But just as their shadows fall over him, Sinju steps in. "You're not the only one who can play that game!" Sinju's voice booms. He lifts his arms, and a portal of swirling energy tears open behind him. From it steps Amen. Now Amen is a sight to behold, a terrifying, awesome fusion of man and beast, draped in the same red and gold as Sinju. Half human, half monster, and all fury. Without a single command, Amen roars and charges, a blur of red and gold, slamming into one of the knights. But one down, one to go. The other knight, the big one, is still bearing down on Lin. Sinju isn't done. He lifts his hands again, a different kind of power surging around him. "Juggernaut!" he yells. And from another portal thunders a creature straight out of a legend. A massive elephant, encased in red and gold medieval armor with colossal horns curling from its head. It lets out a deafening roar that shakes the very ground and charges, intercepting the second knight just inches before its sword can find Lin. The battlefield is now pure chaos. A man-beast versus a short knight, and a colossal armored elephant versus a giant one. Lin, now with some breathing room, grins. He pulls out a small, intricate device, an animal transformer. He points it at the raging elephant. "Time for an upgrade, Juggernaut!" A flash of light, and the massive elephant transforms. In its place stands a titan of a man, equally huge, with long, flowing white hair and a giant war hammer strapped to his back. He cracks his knuckles, eyes locking onto his opponent. And with that, the real fight was on. The clash of steel, the roars of beasts, the crackle of summoning magic. It was a symphony of destruction. They fought for hours, and then more hours. The sun began to set, casting long, bloody shadows across the battlefield. Every time one side seemed to gain an edge, the other would rally with some new, insane power. It was an endless, brutal, magnificent stalemate. Hours and hours of battle. And when the dust finally began to settle, there was no clear winner. No one came out on top. It was a perfect, terrifying balance of power, a testament to the sheer world-breaking strength on display. Some fights aren't about winning or losing. They're about showing just how far you can push the limits of what's possible. And this day, they didn't just push the limits,